Thank you for joining me. The Introit for Sunday, April 11th is from 1 Peter chapter 2 and Psalm 105. Like newborn infants, long for the pure spiritual milk, that by it you may grow up to salvation, if indeed you have tasted that the Lord is good. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, call upon his name, make known his deeds among the peoples. Sing to him, sing praises to him, tell of all his wondrous works, glory in his holy name. Let the hearts of those who seek the Lord rejoice. Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his presence continually. Remember the wondrous works that he has done, his miracles, and the judgments he uttered. He remembers his covenant forever, the word that he commanded for 1,000 generations. Now, we all know how our tastes in food change throughout our lives. Things I didn't touch as a kid, I now like and enjoy. And if you've ever had the pleasure of having children, you know well the struggles surrounding food. My daughter, who's 2 years old, is a very picky eater. And we will give her new food options, and she will tell us that she doesn't like it, even though she hasn't tried it. Now, I know the food is good. And if she just tried it, she would probably like it. But she has no desire, and she prefers the food she is familiar with. Now, the image we have in the Introit is connected to food and nourishment. We have the encouragement in the beginning from Peter, long for the pure spiritual milk. And then the follow-up, you have tasted that the Lord is good. Those who rely on God know that he is good. Those who have grown up in maturity and faith know that what God does is good. However, there is always a temptation to reject the nourishment that God gives in favor of the familiar. And we might reject God and the nourishment he gives like a toddler rejects new food. We might forsake the good that God offers and instead try to get what we want or throw a temper tantrum, trying to influence what God gives us. And when we do that, we miss out on the many blessings that God has for his people. Now, if we lived on a diet of only the foods we liked and were familiar with, we would miss out on key nutrients. This is the same with our following of God. If we only feast on the parts of the scripture that we like, we would stunt our spiritual growth and suffer malnutrition. And the example that Peter gives in this intro is that when we are young, very young in our faith, we are sustained by the milk. But just as an infant grows, milk no longer can provide all they need to grow. And it is the same with us in our spiritual lives. We need to have some meat. The psalmist highlights some of that meat. He says, sing to him, sing praises to him. Praise and worship is a part of that meat. When we become mature, we are no longer embarrassed by our worship. It's not about what others think or how we are perceived. It's about God. We're also told to remember his strength, the works he has done, his miracles, and the judgments he uttered. This, to me, is an important part of spiritual growth. We do not shy away from the hard messages. We do not shy away from the judgments of God, but rather we seek him always, because we know that it does us no good to erase the reality of consequences of sin and God's judgment against disobedience. Spiritual growth does not happen on a selective diet. Those who are selective in what they want to be fed are always in danger of spiritual malnutrition. Seek the Lord in his strength, even the parts that make us nervous and show us that we are truly nothing compared to him. Don't reject the things that are hard to swallow, but seek God and his presence continually. Thank you for joining me.